Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say Gus out the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beauty, beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, a killing eye. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk. She must be from the planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart. With your beauty I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beauty, beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tie. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux. It's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture. I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world. Anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing
love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. D-Love, how are you, my G? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Men of Prestige. We have a lot to talk about today. Let me just make sure. All right. I knew I was hearing some kind of noise, so I wanted to make sure that there's no audio. Can you guys hear me clearly? Yeah. Oh my, so loud. Let me see here. All right, we should be fine now, right? Let me see. All right. I just want to make sure I'm not yelling and I don't want to kill your eardrums. All right. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Men of Prestige. I'm doing my own clapping myself, right? Let's do a quick, let's see here. Let's do a quick applause. Welcome. Yep. All right, great. So do me a favor, hit that like button as you're coming in. Do me a favor, just do me a solid, right? Hit that like button as you're coming in. Also share, especially if you see WhatsApp come up. Please share this to your favorite WhatsApp groups. Okay, share this. It doesn't hurt. It's just like 2 taps away, and then we're here continuing our fun as usual. Anyway, welcome back. And my name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Shout out to my sponsors: Mo Fresh, Richie, Life with Natu, Adesua, Film Girl, Open Floor by Tima, Sheo Mama, Gorex Corner, of course, D-Love, right? Shout out to all of you. Shout out to all our supporters over the time. Shout out to everybody that's ever sponsored the show here. I appreciate you. All right. Yes, I'm looking for today's sponsor. The goal for the month is $1,000. Last show we were at $245.59. Today we're at $281.32. You can sponsor a show for as low as 99 cents. I want to say thank you. All right, I appreciate you. Again, like I said, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Basically, what we come here to do is to talk about relationships, but we use trendy topics, okay, to extract relationship lessons. Sometimes we might come off as we're clowning or judging celebrities in particular, but that's not the goal, okay? We're just having a good time, and we don't have any personal relationships with these people, but we are determined to extract the lessons. All right, so that's what we come here to do. All right, also, if you haven't done so, make sure you download the books. Okay, make sure you download the books. You can download one of them right now for free at loveandprestige.com. It's very, very easy. You go through that, loveandprestige.com. You will have access to a free PDF, digital version. Also, you can access the the different versions that you might prefer. Maybe Kindle on Amazon, audiobook, all of that. All those options are there. Okay. So, yeah, you can do that at loveandprestige.com. All right. All right. Without any further ado, oh yeah, by the way, you can join us behind the scenes at lolaanola.com/WhatsApp. Okay. So you can join us over there. Okay. All right. Now, like I said earlier, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Today we'll continue to talk about Nikki Thot and Jamie Perkins, you know, their story on the internet. People have lots of opinion. Let me change that frame since Lola is not here today. I don't know why I keep playing that. There you go. Loveandprestige.com. There you go. All right. So, yeah, we're gonna review we're gonna do a couple of reactions today. Okay. But I also I always forget. You guys have to remind me. I always forget. I want to drop the link as early, you know. It just means if you come up early, it just means you want to come up and chop it up with me, right? But I have a tendency to forget. Okay. So I'm actually going to drop the link right now, and then I'll pin that to the top. And D-Love has chosen to sponsor the show today. Thank you so much, my sister. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. I'm going to go ahead. You never call in anyway, you know, but I get it. I respect it. Okay. All right. So I want to pin the link. Let me see here. There you go. So that anybody can feel free to come in, chime in on the conversation, you know, so that it's not just one way, you know. Yep. All right. So without any further ado, we do have a few stories to cover today. We're going to talk about Nikki Perkins. We're going to talk about, let me see what we're talking about today. We're talking about Nikki and Jamie. We're talking about the difference between trauma and hurt. Some lady called AKANA. I wanted to review that video. It's been sitting on my playlist for minutes. We're also going to talk about MOHBAD. We're going to talk about Sam Larry, NAIRA, MARLEY, Wumi, MOHBAD'S widow. We're going to talk about that today. Okay, we're going to do some updates on that. Okay. All right. But again, like I said, if you're just coming in, do me a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Okay. Share and subscribe so you can chat with us. Okay. But let me see here. What's going on here? Where is this thing? Okay. I'll be right back.
Beautiful girl, sparkling night, I find a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving with
all right, so let's do this video first. Okay, whoever is coming in late is gonna miss out a little bit because I think this video actually has a lot. I think I shared it also in the WhatsApp group. Just to let me see. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna share my screen real quickly. There you go. The title of the video is called "You're Not Traumatized, You're Just Hurt." She said, "You're not traumatized, you're just hurt." If you're here and you saw it when I posted, I think I posted it. I'm not sure. If you saw that I posted it, please let me know in the chat. I think I might have posted it some few days back on WhatsApp just for everyone to review. But you know, I could have made this video, but I guess she made it first. But I always talk about this kind of stuff, right? So. But you probably don't even know what we're talking about yet. But let me make sure I give proper kudos. AKANA. There you go. AKANA. Before we get into it. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Alright, so we're going to be using this video within the fair use guidelines. We're going to react to it. And see what she has to say. Her name is AKANA. Let's get into it. It's a short video, but let's see.
Traumatized. You're probably just hurt. Today I want to talk about how you're not traumatized. You're probably just hurt. There's a disturbing trend lately where psychobabble in the zeitgeist has been distorted, twisted, and sometimes...
Wait. She started so fast. She said psychobabble twisted. Psychobabble twisted. Let me go back a little bit. Hold on.
Today I want to talk about how you're not traumatized. You're probably just hurt. There's a disturbing trend lately where psychobabble in the zeitgeist has been distorted, twisted, and sometimes
Psychobabble in the psychiatrist has been distorted.
even weaponized. This has given the people the idea that they can prioritize selfish, uncommunicative behavior
Selfish, uncommunicative behavior. Continue.
under the guise of self-care.
Self-care. Love it. I'm loving it already. Under the guise of self-care. You know, I preach self-care. I preach self-love, self-respect, self-esteem. Well, that's a symptom. Self-care, self-love, self-respect, you know, self-preservation, right? I do preach that, you know. But I'm also very quick. to say, hey, some people are just too selfish. You don't need to be talking about self-love, right? I try to remind us of that, right? Why? Because every action is a reaction. So at some point, as an adult, you have to take responsibility for what is happening in your own life, right? Even if you're a victim, yes, even if you're a victim. But let's continue.
Misuse psychological concepts like trauma and abuse and diagnose others who have hurt
Trauma and abuse.
them in order to dismiss their own pain. Now, terms like gaslighting and
Gaslighting. Well, I don't hear attachment as much. You know, I wish people use attachment actually a little bit more. I don't hear attachment as much, but you know, a few people when we start having conversations around romance and dating and relationship, you know, I think some people are quick to bring that up. Like, have you read the attachment theory? I was like, wah.
attachment and emotional labor have like bled into
Wait, emotional labor, Jesus.
the social lexicon, giving people everywhere permission to cut out the toxic people.
Blockity block. I'm blocking. Block everybody, right? Cut out she did this. Whenever somebody does this, right, they're saying, what are they saying exactly? I'm not sure. But they say something else. But they're trying to say that's what you call it, right? Exactly.
The slightest hint of discomfort, conflict, or disagreement. People are literally slinging armchair diagnoses of narcissism, PTSD, or sociopathy around like they're an Oprah-themed popped open piñata, right?
Is this Oprah's fault that everybody is now a psychiatrist and a psychobabble professional, right? Is this? Can we blame this on Oprah Winfrey? I think we should, right? We should blame it on Oprah Winfrey. We blame it on Oprah Winfrey. We blame it on the Daily Show. That's what they call it, right? No, not Daily Show. Daily Show is nighttime show. What's the name of the other show that they're doing it? Your View and the other one, The Real. And there's a third one, I think, right? But there's one more person, you know, R.I.P. that we have to blame it on. We have to blame it on Kevin Samuels and all of the mini Kevin Samuels out there today. We have to blame it on them too. They're also partly to be blamed for this, especially in the last 2-3 years. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
You get a diagnosis.
You get a diagnosis.
Sound like they're an Oprah-themed popped open piñata, right? You get a diagnosis. And though this trend has its upsides, it encourages people to get help.
That's true.
It gives them the tools to recognize patterns that aren't working for them. It provides language to more accurately communicate their feelings. It also has a really stark downside.
The downside is much more for me. I'm going to be honest with you. The downside is much greater as far as I'm concerned. Oh my God, I need to order another one. Oh, that's what makes sense. Where is it? I think it's here. Let me see. It's here. Wait, it's not here. Oh, it's here. Right. Yeah, I need to order another one. I thought I gave it away. I couldn't give this away because this is author's copy anyway. You know, number one red flag, right? So maybe I'm actually about to do more damages out there. Who knows, right? Because the thing is that the reality is that when we tag onto something as human beings in general, we tend to turn them to religion. Right, that's where the talking points come. Like, especially if you find it profound, or like, you know, and Every solution that's created in life creates a new problem. Just keep that at the back of your mind, okay? Every solution in life creates a new problem. You just need to be aware of that so that you don't be like, oh, I got the solution and that's the end of be all, and then you find yourself in the what tomorrow. You won't be as surprised because I already told you every solution creates new problems. It's just reality, okay?
Which is that this blunted lens has warped our view of relationships. We're not seeing them as nuanced and complex dynamics that require an ongoing dialogue, but as a one-way transaction.
One way, okay, so you know when people say, oh, it's transactional, it's a lie. They're trying to tell you they see it as transaction. That's just what it is, right? And unfortunately, or fortunately, romance will never work as transaction. It's always some kind of, in any moment in time, it's always some kind of one-way street, okay? It's just that there's a tendency, there's a large tendency that is reciprocated, right? So then it feels like a dance and it feels like it's harmony, right? But if you break it down into microseconds, it's never that, you know, because human beings are not perfect. People are not perfect, and life is not perfect as it is. As a matter of fact, the perfection in life is the imperfection, right? So when people say transaction, it's an attempt to minimize the very complex nature of human beings, okay? You can't blame it on marriage, you can't blame it on dating or relation, just as human beings. As soon as you were born with this. You're a complex God in your own right and goddesses in your own right. So the idea that somebody will put you in a box so that they can use one terminology to dictate the next point of direction, it's just, it always falls on his face all the time, right? So she's making some really good points. What is a one-way transaction? It's almost like an oxymoron, right? It's a transaction, it's supposed to be give and take, right? It's an oxymoron. Basically, she's trying to say you might mean well, but you end up shooting yourself on the legs, basically, because you are overly absorbed by the obsession for a grand solution, an end-all be-all solution, right? When people try to say, well, there's no end-all be-all principle for anything, especially they say that about marriage, right? Just do what works for you. The reality is what they're trying to do is they're actually trying to force that rule. That is a rule that you just made right there, and they're trying to force it down everybody's throat, and it's not going to work because you will still try to do kirewa with people. You still try to sleep with people, right? You might not plan to have children or get married, but you're still a human being, basically, right? And you're still a social being, and a social being requires emotional connection. It's just what it is, right? Especially when you're like, no, I don't want that. Especially that's when you're actually demonstrating it the most, right? One-way transaction. What an oxymoron, right?
There has been so much rhetoric online lately that encourages disconnection over communication, or language that insists your needs be placed above all else.
Right, like on surface, on paper, that should be cute. You know, make sure you're taking care of yourself. I say that too. Make sure you're good first. But the point of that is so you can have enough to pour into others. That's precisely the point of that. Not so you can hug it up to yourself. So you can claim, well, soft life, you know, I don't be bothered. I'm unbothered. That's a lie. That's a lie. Okay? That's a lie. And this kind of black and white what?
And this kind of black and white thinking completely ignores that we live in a messy world. And sometimes
chaotic, feminine world. It is what it is. That's why we're human beings. We bring structure and civilization into it. Right? It's chaotic. It's a war. Okay, not a war zone, but you know what I mean. Like, as in, like, this is a crazy, crazy, dangerous world, right? And I like the fantasy that it's just a perfect world where people are supposed to act right all the time. Me too. I love it, and I want you to stay that way. I want you to continue to fantasize about that, right? But I also want you to be aware that sometimes your skills for conflict resolution, not sometimes, all the time, it will be needed. Okay. In fact, I watched a show yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that I scheduled a show that I was going to react to some other two ladies, and I decided not to do it since it's not really a lane. But I listened to about an hour and a half of people talking about marriage and relationships and dating, and not a single time did anybody, maybe one little slight, not a single time did anybody talk about conflict resolution. And then they wonder why they end up in divorce. Everybody is talking about, well, you should stay a virgin. They don't say it directly, like if you say virgin, everything is guaranteed, but they might as well just say it, because every answer they have, and all the answers has to do with being a virgin, or or the extreme other end where you are policing other people's psychological behavior. Right? There's nothing that says anything about the experience. You just see that smile that comes on my face when I think about experience. Whenever I come on this show and talk like this, it's an experience for me. I have a good time. No one is the moment this becomes something that somebody is policing me, as you can see, shout out to all our sponsors, but we're not there yet, right? It's easy to quit at this point, right? But life is exactly like that. Imagine if everybody is policing you, and even you, when you're busy policing other people, eventually you feel drained, right? But we have people who are quote unquote, they've been married for 20 something years, but all they have to offer is that you should continue to walk a straight line. It's not real. It's unrealistic. Why? Because of the expectation that's attached onto it. Like, I think it's cool to be a virgin. I think it's a cool thing, especially if you own it and that's who you are. If you want to be celibate and all this kind of stuff, I think that's good for you. Don't attach any expectations from other people to that or to the universe. This world will operate the way it's going to operate, and a lot of that has to do with you learning the game and learning how to play it and navigate it. And that's what she's talking about, right? Life is messy. Relationships will get messy because of that. Not because relationships are messy, it's because you are the one inside of the relationships. And if you're not aware of that, you react in messy ways as opposed to just see like, oh, I guess we have conflict. Let's talk about it. Let me engage my active listening skills. Let me learn something today, because this person is coming from an angle that I don't understand. And it has nothing to do with the fact that they were a virgin before marriage or not. Right? I think one time one of the ladies was like, well, you know what, man, it's going to happen. There's going to be disagreement. And she said it like, you're just supposed to take it. No, it's not that simple. You should be aware of it, and you should have the skills to handle them when they show up. You need conflict handling skills. Okay? If you're inside of a marriage already, you need to build it. You need to go to school for this. You need to be a student and remain a student of this for the rest of your life. There's no amount of being a virgin that can make you escape this. It's just a reality, right? But it gets worse when you think, well, you're supposed to know we're going to fight, so stay in it. Well, the other person may not have enough for them to stay. And then you not collect. And then you start to blame everybody else but self.
Our relationships will require compromise. I don't think you can go into any interpersonal dynamic expecting that your needs are going to be met 100% of the time.
It's impossible.
That's just not realistic. And because there's so much like Instagram therapy going around, I want to
Instagram therapy.
clarify my personal philosophy of what I believe our approach should be. So I think you should put your own needs above other people's wants, but put other people's needs over your wants.
That's cute. That's nice. Right? I like it. Right? Hopefully nobody's going to turn that to some kind of religion, because like she said, there are nuances, right? But I like that.
I think putting other people's needs over your own needs is at times necessary. And it's also a very kind, loving
Yes! Even better. Putting other people's needs over your own needs sometimes. This is real life, eh? Sometimes we have to sow seed. Yoruba people call it we furugmi and furugmi. Right? Sometimes you have to sow seeds. Sometimes you can't see that far that this is going to be rewarding. Maybe God is going to reward you in a different way. So again, as usual, it's the extremes of both ends that's not good. You can't, everything I'm saying right now, you can't set that expectation on other people. You will fail, because other people may just be in a position where they're weak in that moment, right? It's for your own good, so you can manage your own life and attract what you deserve. Because you will continue to attract what you deserve, no matter how many times you want to point fingers at everybody else but self. you will attract what you deserve. And when I say deserve, relax, okay? It doesn't mean you're not a victim of circumstances that I may not be privy to, right? But welcome to the real world. Okay?
Sacrifice to make. However, putting your needs over other people's needs is also sometimes necessary and a kind, loving, protective thing to do. And this dance of deciding whose needs take priority, this is a case-by-case basis that should be balanced based on your best judgment. Look, boundaries are meant to keep people in, not out. Being unclear is unkind.
Wait,
so
wait,
communicate
let's go back.
feelings
No, not so fast. Oh my God, she went over that so quick. All right, contrary, this is the problem that I've always had with boundaries. Okay, if you don't listen to me long enough, you would think I'm saying everybody's just moving mad. No, but it's just that sometimes, you know, words are messy, you know. And people say you need to set boundaries. Oftentimes they want to use that as a tool to keep people outside. Shout out to everybody that's listening to me. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Can you do that for me? Hit that like button right now. We're missing about 6 likes. Thank you. All right. Oftentimes they don't admit it, but if you just look at the context of whatever was going on, they're trying to keep people outside. The boundaries are if it's done properly, you're supposed to use to nurture your relationships. Okay, so that means you got to think beyond just how you feel in this moment. Sometimes in the long term, you set boundaries so that you can preserve the relationship. But a lot of people, they're not thinking that. They're setting boundaries because they don't want to deal with the feelings of the now. They just want to dismiss everything else that's going on and only cater to the feelings of the now, right? Wow.
People in, not out. Being unclear is unkind, so communicate your feelings instead of avoiding conflict. And being triggered, look, that's actually a gift to see what you need to work on.
Wow.
Not a way to censor other people. Like, yes, we
Wow, not a way to censor other people. That is a big deal. That is being triggered is actually a gift. Something is being communicated. Indirectly, of course, right? Something is hitting a nerve, right? Now, it's not always healthy. It's not every time that it's healthy that you, let me just act like macho, I can handle everything. No, if you're triggered, you trigger a lot. Sometimes you have to get out of the room. It's not healthy for your mental health, right? But imagine how much everybody uses the word trigger these days, right? I'm triggered. Even me. And I'm like, why did I use that word? But you know, once you start hearing the word over and over again, before you know it becomes part of your lingo, right?
We should all be very considerate, but if you're seeing triggers more in terms of like censoring others rather than an opportunity for self-exploration, you're doing yourself a huge disservice.
Fact.
All of these tools are meant to help
out.
us navigate relationship dynamics. They're meant to help us repair inevitable ruptures. They're meant to protect our ability to remain engaged. But if you're using therapy speak as an excuse to ice people out, diagnose someone post-mortem your relationship, or set rules
Post-mortem the relationship. Wow. Wow. Listen, there's no way I could have come up with those words. I couldn't. I'd rather just do what we're doing here, okay? But shout out to Anna, because this is good, right? As a way to I need to hear that again.
They're meant to protect our ability to remain engaged. But if you're using therapy speak as an excuse to ice people out, diagnose someone post-mortem your relationship, or set rules for another person's behavior, you are misusing.
Set rules for another person's behavior. It's another way to describe unrealistic expectations, unmanaged expectations. Hey, Chingy, how far are you there? Alright. It's another way to, it's unrealistic. Set boundaries is often basically unrealistic expectation, alright? Because energy is neither created nor destroyed. You're spending all this energy on setting rules on other people, and this is energy that should be going towards building yourself so that you can become powerful and be some of the best skilled people in navigating the very, very messy world that we live in. And then you know what it looks like? It looks like a happy world to the outside. It's just that you've learned the game. You understand people. People are just people, right? At a very general scale, people are just people, right? People are not your mates. Okay, people are not your mates. Don't ever get that twisted, ever. Don't ever confuse that you get to set boundaries and control other people just because you didn't use the word control. It's controlling behavior for the most part. It's controlling behavior. Okay, that's why people like Jada are being called manipulative. Because there's a lot of blah about psychological bubble in their language. They can't speak like this. It has to be something, you know, like big psychological words, right? And there's always at least two people involved in any interaction. So oftentimes the other person's already dismissed you, but that relationship is being tampered with in real time, you know? So let's be guided. Let me continue. This is good stuff.
Using them in an attempt to justify your own victim mentality, insecurity, or ego. Like, we can't cherry pick our popular therapeutic concepts to support whatever our current state of mind is.
The current state of mind is the worst for you to follow. It's the worst. It's the worst thing you want to follow. You should acknowledge it because you feel how you feel. But for that to become the direction of the rest of your life is a bad idea, right? It's a bad idea. And a lot of people are moving like that today, okay? Men or women. How they feel, in fact, it gets worse. They actually justify it with logic. They will call it logic and there's nothing you can do about it. And then you're like, wait, that's logic. It's logic because it's 1 = 2. Right? But yeah, she is speaking facts. She's speaking the truth.
Because when we do, we're really just dismissing our own feelings. So if you say, he is such a narcissist, to lay blame on someone else, you're probably really avoiding, I feel abandoned and discarded. If you say,
yes, let's continue.
I'm setting a boundary, when you're really stonewalling, you're probably
stonewalling, blocking the blockity, block. I don't want to hear it. How can stonewalling, setting boundaries, obsessive boundaries, how can that live in the same space as active listening? Forget active listening to the other person, even to yourself, to your own feelings, right? If all you're doing is pointing fingers, it's just almost impossible for you to take care of yourself, because that consumes energy too. Defense in any game of life, defense consumes resources, it consumes energy just as much as offense, if not more. It actually consumes more, right? Because people are actively trying to offend you. It's like cybersecurity. Some of you might know what this is. There's active people actively looking to hack into all of this and take it over. So that's why they pay people 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, to continue to fight them. It's just the way life works. So if you spend all your energy in defense when we're talking about romance, which is mostly emotionally driven, right? That's consuming energy. If you don't put some of that energy into playing offense, because when you play offense, you also demonstrate to the rest of the world that you're not gonna. They won't come near you if they know that you will strike and destroy, right? Figuratively speaking, right? But if all you do is defend, well, they know you're busy defending. They'll be looking for the other corners where they can come into your crack, usually from a blind spot, right? Boundaries.
Probably just avoiding, I feel unloved, and a vulnerable conversation. If you say, she's so toxic, when you've never communicated how you felt, you're really just avoiding, I feel hurt by this person.
Yes.
And to say, he's gaslighting me, when he's just disagreeing or having a different memory of events, you're probably just really avoiding, I don't feel heard. It's very possible to accept that a person has inflicted emotional pain without pathologizing their actions. And
Pathologizing their actions. This is what I mean. Oh, man. She's using big words. I'm not a big fan of big words, but she did a fantastic job in a way that I'm able to accept it, right? This is what I mean when I talk about the weakness versus wickedness thing, right? When humans are being humans, yes, minority, sometimes they're just evil. Not majority of the time, because if that was majority of the time, this would be a war zone. It's not. The reality is that person is going to get with somebody else and they might end up creating something better. And vice versa. And you too can get with somebody else and create something better. That's the reality. And the courts, child support, custody battle court are full of good people, nice people like Tyrese. Okay? But if every time something happens to you in a relationship, you just run to this person must be wicked. It's not even about you saying it. If that's your mindset, if ordinarily that's your mindset, you will hurt yourself. It's just how it is. Why? How would you hurt yourself? Because you're being unrealistic. That's not the world we live in. You're going to start looking at people as that, not just that one person. You're gonna attract that everywhere, basically.
Often, when I hear people invoke therapy speak, especially outside of a professional setting, there's usually very little accountability and self-reflection going on.
I love the outside of professional setting part. That's true. I've noticed that it's usually people that are not necessarily professional. But, you know, the therapists also need to start being aware, like, hey, these words are not for you to use. Don't diagnose yourself. Don't self-diagnose. Don't diagnose your partner. And a lot of people are doing that. They're doing it, you know?
And I also don't think we should minimize the experience of people who actually deal with narcissistic personality disorder, abuse, or gaslighting by throwing around these terms. Instead, identify your emotions. Take the space to adequately describe them without using pop psychology or emotional shorthand, and validate your own experience. Because what we're feeling is real. It just may not actually be trauma. Trauma is usually pretty severe. Trauma is when you're in a mass shooting, or you're being physically abused, or you witness suicide. What we are experiencing instead, it may just be stressful. And that's a good thing. Like why would you want to be traumatized, right? Like, if what we're going through is just stress, we don't need to bolster our language to elevate our experience by invoking the higher authority of therapy speak. What we're experiencing is valid and legitimate, even when what we're experiencing is just hurt. I'm Anna AKANA. Thank you to the patrons who supported today's video, and as always, thank you to my biological father.
All right, that was a nice one. I like it. You know, she basically put in about 4 minutes a lot of things I've been trying to say. The only thing she didn't say is that if you have, like, she did say, like, you have personal issues and stuff like that. We shouldn't invalidate your experience, right? We shouldn't. That's the fact, you know, because that doesn't help either, right? But we also encourage people to really talk about how they feel, talk about their experience, and let's bring it down to micro level and stop talking about these issues as it's always macro. It's not. We're human beings. You can't do that. It doesn't work. It's an endless conversation when you generalize, and it's obviously a sign of ignorance at best. All right, let's move on to the next conversation. I will be right back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.
All right, we haven't talked about MOHBAD in a while, so let's talk about MOHBAD. All right, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. So there's this story, an update on. There's an update on. Hold on one second. Hold on. All right. So there's this update. It says DNA is a must. I did notice that yesterday. I think Iyabo Ojo posted some kind of statement from Wumi, who is MOHBAD'S widow for the first time. You know, and I guess for the first time, never seen a statement from her. But who is MOHBAD? MOHBAD is a guy who on September 20 was a guy. I guess we can say was a Nigerian superstar up till. It was September 12th. 27-year-old kid, Ileri Oluwa Oladimeji Aloba, and he was he became deceased on September 12, 2023. He had an inflicted wound to his hands. I think he was trying to punch a car windshield or something like that, and then he was trying to punch somebody, and then he punched the car's glass, and then he basically bled to death, you know. So, but there's been a lot of controversies around his passing, and basically the last 1 to 2 years of his life, it was being bullied apparently by two gentlemen, allegedly. Naira Marley, I think they're in custody right now. Naira Marley and Sam Larry. Naira Marley was the owner of the label that it was signed to. So Mohbad was a musician, a rapper, all of this, right? Superstar, rock star, right? So, but anyway, the whole world, especially Nigerians around the world, became very angry and they asked for justice. They wanted to know what happened to him. So there's been a lot of drama around his, his family. The father tried to bury him overnight before dawn. He tried to bury him. It almost seems like he was hiding something, But then the guy has been talking a lot too. Seems like he's very hurt about his child, but also it seems like a guy who is very irresponsible at best, right? So, but they had to exhume his body, and they were still waiting for the autopsy and the lab reports from some hospitals and stuff like that. So, but the people that are talking about it are still talking about it. They're keeping their foot on the neck of the police to make sure they don't sabotage, right? So there's this post, DNA. Okay, so Iyabo Ojo, I guess messaged Wunmi, who is Mohbad's widow, who was with him when he passed. So it's a lot of story around that. We already covered it. I'm not going to get into too much details, but Wunmi apparently for the first time made this statement she said, "Hello ma." She's talking to Iyabo Ojo. She said, "I've decided not to speak on anything until 7th of November, which is the corona inquest." Oh, okay, that's close by. That's like a week from now, right? Because I do not want any side distraction. All I want is justice for my husband, which I believe the Nigerian government are working on. After everything, I'll either grant an interview or tell my own story before the whole world. And also, DNA is definitely a must. All right, so a lot of people, people like Very Dark Man, overnight 15 minutes or celebrity fame blogger on the internet, started asking this young lady for DNA, and he's basically started saying his DNA, they have to do a DNA test for their baby. Their baby was 5 months old when he passed. Okay, so that started a whole speculation that his baby might not have belonged to him. So there's also a lot of speculation from the father in recent times. That's Mohbad's father in recent times, also alleging that Wunmi was sleeping around with everybody in the same house that they were living in. That Wunmi would he alleged that Wunmi would drop stuff in Mohbad's drink and then go into other people's room. That these were some of the complaints he got from his son. That's what he's claiming. So this is news that this lady will say, hey, a DNA is a must, right? She said she's open to it, apparently. So maybe that will shut people down, or maybe she's gaslighting them. But all in all, just watching everything, if you notice I slow down on covering this, because I'm just like, this is a circus thing now. It's becoming, it's just weird, and then it's almost like crying over spilled milk. Sorry to say, excuse me, but it's past. I'm sure they're looking for justice, but will justice bring him back? No. With all this mess, it's also very clear that there's a lot of disputes and conflicts within the family itself. So, and as always, if there's a crack in the family, people will start saying all kind of stuff. People will use it as opportunities to troll the family, at least troll the family, So it is what it is. So, but it's good to see that she at least came out and said, you know what? Yeah, I would do a DNA test if they need me to do a DNA test. So Iyabo Ojo posted this. She said, to everyone who wants to hear from Mohbad's wife, this is her response. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So let me see. Chinye says his father is an I don't believe Jack coming out of that man's mouth just because he wants property. He's talking a whole lot of junk. Yeah, it seems like even admittedly by the family, they bought a land and all this kind of stuff. Frankly, I think there probably, obviously, there wasn't any type of management of Mohbad's money. I mean, at 27, there's only so much you can do, right? When it comes to managing your own money. The only thing he could do is focus on, that he could have done is focus on his craft, which he was trying to do that, you know. But then, Olojo came and took him, you know. The father keeps talking about money. So sad. Yeah, it's weird. Like, even if this is the reality of what's going on, there's a way you conduct yourself as a man, especially. And it's not about education. Maybe another type of education, but definitely not school. There are people that didn't go to school that have this wisdom. They know that they shouldn't run their mouth. Right? Yoruba people said from a long time ago, Ogiri leti. That means in your own jebe, you never know who is listening. Before there was technology, right? Said the walls have ears, right? So watch how you talk in public. This is not about, oh, you can even say, oh, maybe he's that much of an illiterate, he doesn't recognize camera, he's just talking, he didn't realize it's gonna go viral. No, cap. Okay, some of our forefathers, they have this wisdom, right? They know how to talk in public. They have social intelligence. So he's just an irresponsible person. That's the bottom line. Hey, not to Afaide. What's going on, everybody? Gracious greatness. What's going on, my brother? How are you? He never said these things before until Dusty, Dusty as very dark man started his shenanigans. Yeah. It makes it so clear of what he's after. From the way he's moving, it doesn't look like he mourned his son. Monike. Moni biti bawo. There's no such thing. Yeah, this guy is I don't know. I just want to be nice to him because I know he lost a son. Fumi Sugar on this comment itself actually says, Yusuf no say no be Mohbad get the Perkin. After they will bring fake DNA results. You see? You hear what this is a woman that just said this. Okay? This is a woman that just said this. What is special about the fact that this is a woman that just said it? Because women supporting women in the sorry, it is not womaning. Hey, Jesus. Oh. Maybe she's a troll. Maybe she's looking, because I can see it's the top post here. Some of them they will say anything just for attention. About 624 comments on it. I'm just going to leave it alone. This person said the wife they capture. If there's nothing she's hiding, she would have spoken up a long time ago. That's one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard. For somebody who just lost a husband. Even if she was cheating on him, this statement is still a dumb statement. Okay? Why? Do I have to say why? I mean, just call a lawyer friend and they will tell you, okay? It's not every mouth you open to just talk anyhow. Mohbad himself does not even look like his father. It's another one. Mohbad himself does not even look like his father. Will DNA be requested for him too? That's a good question. I think it's a good question, because he doesn't look like. That's the dumbest point. That's the dumbest reason to do DNA test ever. Because some child doesn't look like you. That's the dumbest reason. If you want to satisfy your, how do you say that? What's the word I'm looking for? Your quest, your curiosity, your insecurity, which is not a crime. It's okay to be insecure. There's a reason why you're insecure. Maybe she moved some type of way before. Who knows, right? If you want to satisfy that, go ahead and do that. Don't make stupid statements on public. Things like a child does not look like a person. It doesn't make any sense, okay? Okay, it doesn't make sense. Maybe common sense to some people, but you know how common sense be. Common sense is useless. Useless. Yeah, I said it. If all you've got is common sense, go back home so they can train you. Because there's more to life than common sense. Mohbad himself does not even look like, okay, yeah, for good 3 days, you no fit force your husband go hospital for proper medical treatment. Una won't even invite nurse. You allow unqualified nurse treat your husband. This has nothing to do with nothing. That's why she's being questioned. So that is a good point. Like, that's weird, but there's also testaments and people that said she actually tried to get him to the hospital. He refused. Who knows why he refused, right? He's an adult at the end of the day. Somebody said, make them free Naira Marley. That guy is being jailed for what he knows nothing and forget DNA. Wumi, you made Mo depressed while he was alive too. There's probably elements of truth to what they're saying about the nature of their relationship when he was alive. After all, he was a young man who is in the streets. So what do I expect him to know with regards to, especially as a rock star? Yeah, I don't know. I can't expect too much from him, you know. But yeah. Let me see here. Chinye said, it's been moving from interview to interview, pushing everything off to everybody else without taking accountability. That guy will collect now. Shebi will be here. It's like, damn if she does, damn if she doesn't. Like, really? Yeah, you can't make people go. I know you might not even understand my language, but you've heard me sing that song a few times by Ebenezer Obey. Just face forward, yeah. Because trying to satisfy human beings is focus on influence, because you can control them like puppets if you understand influence and the difference between influence and try to, appease people. Those are two different things, by the way. Let's see. Oh my God, you can't please people. So now when the DNA shows it's Mohbad's child, they'll say the result is fake. Yeah. That's why you don't try to appease trolls. Okay, and that it doesn't work out. Okay. Kolewek. Why the hell does she need to speak up? What is she speaking up for? Don't mind these people. People are evil. They say Mohbad no look like his father. Why is this comment so funny to me? I'm telling you. Listen, you know what? Let's move on to the next story because I gotta finish on time today. I'll be right back.
Beautiful girl,
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we're done enough.
All right, before we get into the Nikki Thot and Jamie story here, there's another headline here about the Mohbad stuff. Justice for Mohbad. Naira Marley and Sam Larry sue magistrate police. Demand 40 million naira. They're still being locked. They're still locked up, right? That's what they said, right? They're still locked up. I think I saw the sister was saying it's unfair, blah blah blah. Listen, I can't speak for Nigerian police. I just don't know what they're doing up there. But you can't lock people up here if there's no real reasons. Okay. Typically, let me just say, even in Nigerian law, you can't just lock people up unless there's a real reason, like something solid enough for them to be locked up, right? So, but I'm sure these two kids they're also ignorant enough to, to file this kind of lawsuit. But we shall see. But let me read this report really quickly, and then we'll look at some of the comments. Shout out to Instablog Nigeria, by the way. So, justice for Mohbad. Naira Marley and Sam Larry sue magistrate police. Demand 40 million naira. That's it? That's all you want? How much is 40 million naira these days? Like $40,000? That's it? Singer Naira Marley and socialite Sam Larry have filed a fundamental rights suit, right? So human rights suit, right? to challenge their continued detention over the death of Mohbad. Mohbad, a 27-year-old singer born Ilerioluwa Aloba, died on Tuesday, September 12, 2023 in Lagos State. The magistrate had on Wednesday, October 4, ordered the remand of NAIRA, MARLEY and Sam Larry in police custody for 21 days over Mohbad's death. Oh, so 21 days is past now. Okay. Well, we don't know what's going on there. I don't know, okay? Because they do that to completely innocent people too sometimes in Nigeria. NAIRA MARLEY, real name Aziz Fashola and Samsi Eletu, and are each demanding 20 million naira. That's it. They even have to split it. Look at this once. 20 million naira damages from the police and the Lagos magistrate Adeola Olatubosun over what they termed as their continued detention in police custody. According to Channel Television, NAIRA MARLEY and Sam Larry joined the police. What do you mean joined the police? You mean they're in police custody? Okay, joined the police and I didn't finish the sentence. You see, I'm being gaslit. That's why. Joined the police and the Lagos magistrate as defendants in the suit filed before the Federal High Court in Lagos. Both defendants are urging the court to declare that the continued detention at the homicide section of the Lagos State Police Command, Banti, Yaba, Lagos State, since October 4, 2023, continued a violation of other rights. They argue that the magistrate ordered the remand for only 21 days and the period had elapsed. They are seeking an order of the court releasing the applicants forthwith. So if you remember, they picked them up at the airport and took them straight to the police, right? That's what it looked like on the internet, at least. Right. So, and they've been locked up since then. And the allegations is that Sam Larry, this is the guy to the right, to your right hand side, he was basically harassing Mohbad, who is the one in the center, all around town, and he's been doing it for as far back as February 2022. That's more than 18 months ago. And they are linking it together with NAIRA MARLEY. NAIRA MARLEY is the one to your left, who is the label boss, the record label boss, also an artist himself, and he is also accused of basically ordering the harassment. Okay, so basically he wanted to leave the record label, and they basically said, Kaka, how do they say that in Yoruba? Kaka keku ma jesese ama fi shawadanu ni. How do you say that in English? Jesus, oh my God, I know what I was trying to say, right? So basically, if I can't have it, you can't have it, something like that, you know, basically holding him hostage and saying he can't leave the label. So the best way to handle that kind of case is you go to court. If they sign the contract, you go to court and say that this person owes me a so amount of work, so amount of albums, stuff. That's how you handle that in a civilized world, in a civilized way. But they decided to use street force to harass this boy to get him to succumb, controlling behavior at scale, right? So somebody said these two are probably in one hotel relaxing. Look, you see. So I said, I want to know their audacity plug. This is what happens when a country becomes a joke. Even criminals will become audacious. Somebody said, shame, no supposed catch Sam Larry of all people. So are these two different audiences? The last segment we did, there's some people that were taking sides with Sam Larry. What is going on in Nigeria? We're confused. So, okay, they told me here, it says, release them to the streets of Ikorodu or Agege. Ha! Wahala. Where are my sound effects? Jesus. Oh, my God. To the street of Ikorodu and Agege.
Wala, Nigeria don't report to Atikosa Wakolu. Wala.
So they are probably protecting them now from themselves. They probably don't realize, right? If you have evidence, charge them. It's unconstitutional to keep them in detention for that long. All right, I think it is unconstitutional once they say it's 21 days, but this is Nigeria, you know. This case was handled with emotions. Detaining, everything in life is handled with emotions, okay? For people who talk this way, it's usually ignorance, okay? Yeah, and I say that, okay, my statement is probably wrong on the surface, okay? We shouldn't handle issues with emotions, okay? But what I'm saying is that emotions is a big variable that you have to consider when you're dealing with real life issues, because people's emotions can destroy them and other people. Sometimes they have to actually put you in custody to protect you against your own emotions. So again, these kind of statements, they look like they are smart on the surface, but they are stupid because you know where they are coming from. And we try to give as much patience so that, you know, so that we don't, but they will basically, they tell themselves, wait for it. So I'm still reading, wait for it. This case was handled with emotions. Detaining someone who turned themselves in for this long is very unlawful, right? This is unlawful detention no matter where you take this case to. Nigeria had failed once more. God help this country. Did this person come out when Baba Buhari was detaining Showore for no reason for so long? Are these people aware that so many people are detained in Nigeria beyond the number of days? Some of them are forgotten, right? Does that justify? It doesn't justify. But to make a blank estimate, this case was handled with emotions when somebody died is a stupid statement to make. And that's a statement that lacks emotional intelligence at best. So sometimes, yes, the police, the judges, the judiciary system, now sometimes they have to pay attention to the emotions of the society at large, because people can literally destroy you from a place of emotions. You can destroy yourself. You can be harmful to yourself. So now when somebody reacts to that and decides to put you away for 2 days, you will now come back and say they are handling it with emotions. No, yes, half truth at best, right? Sue magistrate for someone you people bullied and everyone saw it. If justice no prevail, Ogun go prevail. Okay, I'm done with this story. I'm done. I'm done. Let's get into the main story of the day. Yeah, we'll be back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, with a
All right, let's cover this. There's a video here that I wanted to react to about the Nikki Thot stuff. We're gonna just watch it together and react to it and see if there's anything to this whole dark side of the monitoring space. The title of the video actually is called let me see here. Let's see here. It's called The Dark Side of where is it? Hold on 1 second. There you go. So you can get rid of that. There you go. Alright, so this video is made by a guy called Murad Merali. I've never seen him before, but I saw like the first 30 seconds. Okay, this is interesting. Let's see if we can react to this. Hold on 1 second. There you go. Aha, that's Murad. What is his name? Murad Merali. Let me put it on the screen. Fair use. We're talking about Nikki Thot. Nikki Thot and Jamie Perkins are basically YouTubers. They've been dragging each other for what? He dragged her. And I want to say shout out to Chinye. Chinye corrected something in the comments when she was watching the replay. Let me see here. So we kept talking about the evidence of any evidence of any DV, domestic violence or anything like that. We kept talking about that, right? Let me see. Where is this thing here? Okay, there you go. So Chinye came back and said, I'm looking for your comment now with Chinye. Let's see. Okay. She said, replay gang. Shout out to all the replay gangs. If you're watching this, always say something in the comments. Please, I beg, let me know. She said, regarding Jamie showing receipts about DV, The receipts he showed on the video he took down are the text messages between him and Nikki, where he confronted Nikki for hitting him, and she apologized in the reply to that text, stating that it was wrong for her to have hit him. All right. So good point that we didn't. Thanks for letting us know. I wanted to highlight that yes, there was a video and some screenshots of text and stuff like that. Now, if that's admissible in court, that's a different conversation altogether. If they would take that and say, wait, does that mean you have evidence that somebody hit you? Do you have marks on your body? I'm not sure if they use screenshots of text messages or somebody admitting, because in this same world, people will say, well, they admitted under duress. I don't know. So, but it's still good to acknowledge that there's a screenshot out there of her apologizing for doing that, but we already also acknowledged that these were just two people, like majority of people in this internet and romance internet streets, that just don't know what they're doing. Okay, so without any further ado, let's watch Murad's video. Let's see what he's saying, and then we'll take it from there.
Weeks, but when everything settled down, without took the internet by storm over the past 2 weeks. But when everything settled down, whatever side you're on, we're not going to discuss that, who's right and wrong. That's not to be discussed in this video. But the
I'm done. Okay. All right. Apparently, I only watched 17 seconds because I didn't see that coming. Let's continue.
Wow.
Also, he said he's not taking sides. We don't know who is right and wrong. I like that already. Let's continue.
I need to apologize. I am so sorry. That is really embarrassing.
You're not sorry. You could just edit that part out of the window, right? Out of the video. You're not sorry. This guy is not sorry. Yeah, he's not sorry.
I really do say sorry, guys. My apologies. Damn, that intro was about to land. Anyways, child. Okay, so, but I also feel like, how do I do this now? Now that piss me off. I feel like, bruh, what do I say now? This is so annoying. I've lost, when you just lose your train of thought, everything is gone. The train is off the tracks. It's fallen into the trees and gone through the river and over the woods. Do you understand? Like, this is so annoying. I feel so embarrassed. But at the same time, I do feel like there is a dark, very dark side to what we have seen when it comes to Nikki Thot and Jimmy Perkins, and why I feel we are about to see a lot more, and it sets a dangerous precedent that is about to come, a new reality that we have not faced. Hey guys, it's Marley. Hopefully you guys are all doing well.
Wait. First of all, there's no reality that we are about to face. It's the reality they are about to face. Okay? They got 2 babies together. Oh yeah. This is why, again, dragging your ex-partner on the internet street is the same thing as dragging yourself. You might not see it yet because you're caught up in your feelings, but yeah, no, that reality is all of theirs. Shout out to Mo Fresh. Hello, how are you?
Today, back again with another video. If you have not subscribed, guys, click that button for daily and consistent content. Subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. It's just one click. Let's get into this conversation that I want to have about this, because I've been thinking about it for a while. I've been reading case studies about what is going on. Now, regardless of whether who's in the right and the wrong here, one thing that we can agree is that the children are innocent in the situation, and they are going to be affected dramatically by this entire situation as they get older. And I feel like we, as an audience, discussing all of this, we're so focused on whose sides we're on, we're not really digesting or actually understanding how much the children are going to be affected by this. And this is what we see with family channels where children are involved. All right, so the topic of the video is the dark side of family channels and why Jamie made this huge mistake. Let's get into this really quickly. Do you guys watch family channels? Is that any one of you watch family channels? Anybody here watch family channels? Let me know in the chat. If you watch family channels, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't watch family channels, put a 0 in the chat. Okay. Let me see here. Gracious Greatness says, I stopped listening to Marley a little while ago when
There was some bad press about him, about it. I don't know what this guy is. I guess I'm about to discover. I don't know who he is at all. I just stumbled into it because of this story. Okay. And for some reason, YouTube think he's saying something that makes sense. So I said, okay, let's see what he's saying. Okay. So family channels, I personally, I don't watch family channels. I don't know why I will sit around somebody walking around the park with about 3 children and all they are doing is throwing like, yeah, I don't know why, but apparently people enjoy it, you know, because they blew up at one point. But in general, I also know people love watching kids on the screen. Yeah, kids are so cute, right? So I'm sure. But remember this guy, Falling Pina's ex, Jalen Pina. Jalen, what's his last name? It's not Pina. Let me be respectful. I'm sorry. But Jalen Pina's ex, right? Remember somebody here told us that he's in the habit of, you know, looking for mothers and all these YouTube channels or family, all this kind of stuff, right? So these are the reasons why sometimes it's difficult for me to defend when people say some people are just looking for clout, right? No substance whatsoever. There's nothing, right? We look for clout too, but we're trying to bring attention to some real work, right? Some real substance, in my opinion, right? And but some people like, no, it's just income stream. They just look for clout, right? And there's some people like that, you know. The Henry family and stumble into their shorts every now and then. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't sit around and be watching the family do their thing. I just can't. But apparently there's a lot of audience. There's a huge audience for that. Let's continue. Murad.
Your sole income as a grown man or woman, your sole income is your child. There is always going to be a relationship of exploitation that is taking place.
All right. So even at that, I even always say this. If your sole income, this is me, my personal belief, right? And I try to teach my kids in that direction too, right? Obviously, there's exception. There's exception here and there. Anytime you have to use your own body to make money, right? I'm not a big fan of it. Okay, using your own body so I'm talking about even things like driving Uber all day. I'm talking about anything that, like, even sports, right? Even sports. I'm a little iffy about that, you know. But we all use our body. So I'm just talking about to what extent, right? So how much more I have to use my kids? It will never sit well with me, you know. It never sit well with me. But you know, I get it. Some people can see they see the money and say, you know what, let's just dress them up. People love, you know, people engagement. I see that people are watching that space where the baby show their face. You know, I get it, but I'm not a big fan of that either. So already it makes sense that family channels, there's no way it's not going to drain your reality. Okay? See, if I show up here right now today and I say snap, 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 and I start talking, it's as close to reality as possible for me. I just know I have to have conversation with you guys for 2 hours or so, right? But imagine me having to dress up the babies. Forget if I have to dress up the babies. What if my wife has to dress up the baby, but I have to keep calling her even once in a month, when I have to bring her here? Baba, I can't do that every week, every day. I can't, you know. But I think more so of what we should be talking about is how does this psychologically, mentally affect the parties involved, right? And I think that's what he's going at. Let's keep going.
Because you are relying on your minor to pay your bills in your home. Yeah, and so this is a relationship that we're seeing with social media, with family influencers. Now, I'm not saying that every family influencer channel, you know, only relies on the children. I'm sure they may have other jobs, which I would expect. Your sole income should not be your child, because that creates a very blurred, dangerous line of exploitation that can begin.
I like the word exploitation. Yeah. It's I'm sure it's cute when they do it. I'm sure. And I don't want to judge people that are still doing that. But I'm just saying, to whom much is given, much is required. If you're going to do that, at least make sure that you're prepared for in the case of you end up in a bottle like Nikki and Jamie, right? You have to make sure you're prepared for that. I wouldn't put my kids through that unless they're always in therapy. It's just a lot. It's a lot, you know. I want them to be children. I want them to be children. With that being said, again, there's some exceptions. You have some child stars. You have Britney Spears. You have Justin Timberlake. You have the likes of even the late great what's the name? They used to say, what you talking about? What's his name? Gary. What? His name skipped me. His name completely skipped me. But anyway, that guy, the little guy, you know. These people have to struggle for a long time. Some of them never get over it. Right? Not having your childhood is a lot. It's a lot on adults. How much more a child? Yeah, I'll be very careful. Gracious Greatness says, using your body to make money. I think, I don't like that's funny. That's funny. Right? Yeah, it's, yeah, you should, we all use our body. To understand, you have to come here, you have to type, you have to, and then even if you type too much, right, you start, there's something they call carpal tunnel that affected me a while back, you know. I was saying your back, your lower, like even at that, right? So yeah, it's you know, the less of your physical body you get to use, the more leverage you have. That's the point I'm making, you know. And it's better to not do that. It's just better. Shout out to everybody coming in. Hit that like button. Isabel, hello, how are you? Hit that like button as you're coming in. It's a lot. Yes, it's a lot to have camera in their faces all the time. Yep. I'm telling you, the only way I could do this, you see how I'm scratching my head and I can feel I can just sit and just, it's like I'm working, right? Gary Coleman is who I'm saying. Yes, thank you so much for that. Gracious Greatness. I was talking about Gary Coleman. Yeah, Michael Jackson. Yeah, all those people, they have to deal with the trauma of that for a long time. Sure to use the word trauma. I don't know if it's trauma, but yes, it's a big blow to their being. Obviously, this is their callings too, so that's why I kind of want to shy away from calling it trauma, you know, because what kind of world would we have if we don't have Michael Jackson, right? But I'm just saying in general, the less of your physical body you get to use, the more leverage you have when it comes to making money. So just because of that mindset, I don't see, I can't relate with bringing my babies in front of camera and be setting angles for hours in a day. So that, no, I can't do that. Let's keep going. Let's see what's his name again? I keep forgetting. Murad. Let's see what Murad is saying.
Again. Now, I've read quite a few case studies on this where there are a lot of children now growing up to the point where they are conscious, they're in their, you know, mid-teens or etc. And they are drastically upset at their parents for the fact that they were put on social media without their consent, without their understanding, not knowing what it is, and how their face is everywhere online when they really just wanted to live private lives growing up. From the generation that I am, we are not growing up with our parents as influencers, so we are not able to grasp this reality or understand it. With the development of reality TV, with social media, with AI, there are going to be new barriers that children are going to be facing as they get older. These two children,
So, yeah, I if they're upset at their parents, I can't. What if they feel guilty and they don't want to blame their parents, but they have to carry all that weight on by themselves, right? It's just, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't advise. If you're going to do anything, you can do it free, do you. But just hopefully you know what you're doing. That's all I always say, right? You know what you're doing. Because there's downside to everything in life, right? And there's upside. So a lot of people are focused on the upside. Oh, views. I mean, look at this baby's face. You know, it's like, wow, of course, why not, right? But
regardless of their parents, I'm sure that they love them both as they get older, are always going to be impacted by the fact that their father decided to put up a video of their mother in a take for everybody to break down and discuss and put her in a bad light. Now, it doesn't negate the fact that she could be wrong or right in that instance, but as a daughter or me, I would be angry at my father and be like, why did you put that video up of my mother for the world to look at? So I don't think Jamie Perkins really understands the damage
just listen.
of doing
I don't want
so
the
in
baby
this
son
instance.
on this
Whether
one.
he's wrong or right in this regard, when you have children involved and it's a family channel, and when you put that into the stratosphere, your children are now going to digest that information in their own way. That could also mentally affect them, let alone the lack of consent of being online. That could also, you know, affect them as they get older, because it is quite traumatic to see a video of your mother up online. And
yeah, I agree with him, because now there's a question that kept coming to my mind. A person who doesn't know how to turn off the camera when they are completely upset, what do you think they're doing when nobody's upset, right? Of course, they're not thinking, let me manage this. They're not thinking that. It's just normal day, business as usual, you know. They're not thinking this deep. They can't think that far, that what if, right? So, of course, it makes sense to me that he would think he can turn on camera even when he's upset. Everything is camera for him, right? So, yeah. I'm always, listen, let me tell you this. On this platform, I'm always going to address the person that's doing most of the talk, you know. I'm addressing them, not judging them. Okay, all I can see, right, is like they're telling on themselves. Okay, that's all I can see. Okay, I'm not judging them. In fact, they can be correct. In fact, their spouse or their partner may be 10,000 times worse. That's the reality. It's possible, right? But they still have enough to come and tell me the story. And when I'm hearing the story, I'm hearing cracks. I'm like, Baba, what about this? Did you consider this part? If you come at me and say I'm judging and not hearing the other story, or that's called Oyo at that point in time. So, who is the loudest in this story? Who is the person doing the most of the talking? As far as I've been watching this in the last few days, it has been Jamie Perkins. We have major. Now, to be honest, we have a lot of words from Nikki. And a lot of things that Nikki said too, they're not perfect, you know. But a lot of those things transpired. There's no need to lie about some of those things, you know. So, again, we concluded that these are two people that just didn't know what they were doing. But when everything fails, that's why we need leadership. In a family setting, that's why we need leadership when everything fails, right? I can't become and say, you two, you should have, I can't be doing that. I don't have time for that, right? Who is the leader? Who is the loudest? Those two people come to the pulpit. Let's talk. This is how you could do this better in the future. This is how you could do this better. Nobody's judging you. You could do this better in the future. You could do this better, right? And shout out to all my brothers that are watching behind the scenes. Shout out to Gracious Greatness, of course. Our numbers with the brothers climbed. We are now at 40, 44, 45%. Good stuff, right? Because I want us to continue to rub minds together, because this society God is not going to come down and govern it for you. You're called to be a leader in a household. You better know what you're doing. You're not going to be able to blame your children or your wife. It's not going to work, is my point. It's not going to work. You can blame them, but you end up in more... you end up with poto more, because listen, let's continue this.
And as you get older, you're just going to understand that, number one. Number two, Nikki Thot did say that Jamie Perkins did not want to split the money with his children. That is why she put it down to just 1 to 2 videos a week, because he was not in a position, nor did he want to, because he very well understood how much money they were making via their children, via Nikki Thot, but via their children especially, and he was comfortable with that, and the children and the money was going to him. But if your children are your sole income, surely they should deserve a percentage or something saved for them for their tuition fees or something in that manner. And him refusing to do all of that is because of the greed that comes from the bloodlines, that comes from exploiting somebody. And so this is what we see, and it can be very dangerous. Now, when the children also grow up, they're going to realize that you were using me to make money, but you weren't trying to give me anything or say me anything. I'm quite upset. It could nurture a negative relationship with those children and the father or mother because of this social media outburst and how it's, you know, come up like this. I also think that a lot of children who may not want to be on social media and are forced to, basically, they're going to feel like that when they get older, might have negative relationships with both their parents and distance from them because of AI, social media, and the fact that they were plastered everywhere and they really did not want to. So I see a rise in this. I see a rise in these family channels, and if you are a content creator influencer and your sole income is just your child, it is a dangerous line. That's all I'm saying, because you can end up trying to exploit them for more money, but then they grow up and they don't want to be in those positions, and then what's going to happen? Or, you know, the PTSD that they may have from why am I ever online when I'm trying to live a really private life, it can develop anxiety, it can develop social anxiety, PTSD, and etc, etc, etc. It can be a lot. These children can also develop significant amount of social anxiety knowing that they're...
That's a fact. All these children that all the time they're spending, like, to the point that she wanted to take the babies to school and he wanted to delay. Is that part of the story, right? He wanted to delay taking them to school so he can continue to exploit them. Our accusation, that's basically what she said, right? Yeah. And you know one thing about money, money is a spirit. Money, once you make some good money, you don't, like the language that we saw on one of the posts, you don't want to sabotage that money, right? But it's also kind of weird that you find yourself in a space where you're asking, can you split some of that money with your children? Yeah, at that point in time, it's just really bad, right? That relationship is bad. When your wife, your ex-wife, is now saying, split some of that money with your children. Well, if you can't do that only once a week, I actually think she's considerate if that's actually what happened. I think she's considerate. So yes, when you get to a certain level, you have 1.76 million monitoring spirits. That's supposed to be a good thing. They have subscribers, right? But when you have all this energy, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to manage it, you will lose your family, you lose yourself. You will lose everything potentially if you're not careful. And in terms of who should you blame for that? I don't know. But we've seen many examples of this since the beginning of mankind, right? People that, Yoruba people, Sabang Bie, Erama, Erama Tele, Erama, like, I'm probably butchering it, but take it easy. If people are lifting you up and they're highlighting whatever you bring to the table, all that kind of stuff, say thank you, relax, humble yourself, because 1.76 million subscribers, that's a lot. That's a lot of wasting money too. All it takes is for them to manage their emotions. Manage your emotions, your expectations, be open-minded. If you're not open-minded, you will think the only type of content you can offer is that. I've always believed in, when it comes to content creation, make it full transparency. Like, listen, Nikki and I were going through it right now, but I think we're going to be fine. But she doesn't want me to bring the children, so I need your ideas. I'm going to set up a poll. What kind of content would you guys would you guys like to see more? Considering that, of course, I can't bring the babies here, or I can only bring them once a week. Let me know. If you have 1.76 million monitoring spirits, they will complete the poll. Even small us here will complete poll every time, right? They will give you a number. They will give you an idea of what you can bring to the table, right? So it's just difficult. He can't. He's only thinking about this woman is going to sabotage, right? But let's not talk about the exploitation of those kids. Potentially how they might feel in the future.
Their father put up a video of their mother online. I just feel like we don't understand the long-lasting effects of the children as they get older, because their family, put them online, and it's all basically broken down for us to really look at. Really and truly, none of this is our business. This is very much a family issue, and it does not need to be put online for us to break down and analyze and look at and discuss.
No, it's not your business now. They're public figures. You're making money off of this. Let's see how many monitoring spirits have seen this. Yeah, right. 8,000 people have seen this. It's not your business. It's your business. Let me see. You say, oh, nice. We need brothers. Yes. He needs to go find a job. This kid can't be his meal ticket. I would hate if my parents were content creators, cause it's so opposite my personality. We know, D-Love. No shine camera for my face, I beg. Imagine now, So I agree with that 100%. I post my kids on their birthdays, I guess. once in a while, you know, I might, you know, but like to make it a job, like an income source, I can't, you know. I'm even trying to get them to help me with some of the social media activities, and even that one is work. Even to get them to do it is work.
Trying to think pieces of who's this, that. That's probably why I think Jamie Perkins took the video down, because he realized, not a lot of people are backtracking, because a lot of people disagree with him, that it was not worth it because of his children that are involved in this entire situation. It was really not worth it at all, but all of this will now stay up on the internet forever. And I don't think people realize when things stay up on the internet forever, it can still affect you present day, be it a year, 5 years, or 10 years after. It most definitely can. So I think that if they're going to be affected, the children are definitely going to be up. It's just a conversation that I wanted to have, because I feel like we don't really discuss the rise of children getting older as their parents who are influencers put them online, and they feel like when they get older they did not want to be online, and they're really upset by it, and they develop PTSD by it, social anxiety. Like, I've read these case studies of these anonymous...
Watch this. You see this headline? My mom is an influencer. I am sick of being a part of it. This is an article somewhere. Okay.
Children.
Look, just look at the picture of that baby. Let me see. Can you guys see? Yeah. Just look at that baby. Does she want to be there? She's smiling, but she might even be used to it. But how much is that baby missing out on, right?
Getting older as their parents who are influencers put them online.
This is another one. Influencer parents and the kids who had their childhood made into content. There's a lot of money involved. Whenever there's a lot of money involved, right? Or a lot of emotions involved, money or emotions, it needs to be done within a controlled environment, okay? Things need to be done within controlled environments. You need to have ambulances. You need to have paramedics, nurses, doctors, first aid. You need to have all those things in place. And I'm speaking figuratively speaking. In terms of psychologically speaking, you need to be prepared for what could be the potential downside. Right? What could be the potential downside of this for the parties involved, especially if there are children involved. Right? You should prepare for that. The same way you will prepare if you were going on a trip with the babies, you will prepare to make sure. In this case now, this long-term effect of this on them, you know. Shout out to OJA. OJA was the one who, I think you were the one that told me about this topic, that we're now talking about it the third time. I'm not a fan of family blogs. I feel it's exploitative as regards to the kids. Yeah, that's what we are uncovering right now. That's awesome. Let's keep going.
And they feel like when they get older that they did not want to be online, and they're really upset by it, and they develop PTSD by it, social anxiety. Like, I've read these case studies of these anonymous children, and they develop PTSD.
Nothing they do now is going to take back the years of work I had to put in. Wow.
By it, social anxiety. Like, I've read these case studies of these anonymous children who've grown up and realized what their parents have done, and they really don't like it. So I can't even imagine what these children will grow.
I had no photos, hoodies printed for me and my little sister. I'm a teenager and my mom is kind of famous on Instagram and blogging. She had a
up knowing that their father put their mother video.
Look at the name of the username. I'm the AOL.
It was XYZ, and the voice notes and etc. and the text messages like, we need to like see it and etc. So that in itself is a whole different level people need to grasp onto, and who knows, it might get worse between them two. I doubt it, but you never really know. So I think this is really the dark side of family channels, the dark side. I'm not saying that, you know, it's nice to see children with their parents online. I think it's great as well when they have, you know, these relationships and they're funny and etc. It's great. That's the great side, but everything that's good, there is dark. And I feel like
so we're getting entertained at the expense. We as a general public, I don't watch family blogs. We're getting entertained at the expense of the characters who happen to be children, right? And in so many ways, directly, indirectly, you the parent, you lost your cool, you lost your shit, and now you're dragging each other on the internet. You're putting these stamps everywhere on the internet that you can't get back, you can't retrieve it. He deleted the video, but the video is somewhere. I promise you, I guarantee you. Okay, I haven't taken time to look for it. I didn't look for it. It didn't matter, right? But you can't delete anything off the internet. You can only delete it from your own channels, your own profiles, right? You can delete that, but there's nothing is ever deleted. Serious matter.
There are rising case studies of children getting older, not wanting to be online.
Wow.
So, you know, I could have a whole family and a wife and you would never even know, because nobody needs to see kids in a camera, in my opinion, especially as minors, especially as the way some people view minors. It's a very weird world. All my niece and nephews, you don't need to see them online, because I just feel like it's unnecessary. But family channels, when you rely only, if you are a family content creator channel and you can't get money on your own, you don't have your own job. You can't be a solo influencer content creator. You can, but if you're only relying on your child for money and you're putting them on the camera constantly, it is dangerous, it is scary, and it's blurring the lines of exploitation that can definitely take place. So I just fear for these children. There's probably going to be new DSM, you know,
yeah, there's going to be new regulations around it, because it's all a new territory, right, for everyone. And honestly, we had aunties, uncles of my children who had suggested, why don't you do YouTube with them when they were little? I don't recall what our response was. I don't think our response was triggered in any way. I don't think so. But I knew that I'm not done with that. I'm just gonna do with that, you know. But part of the case was like, oh, they could make a lot of money. You could put some college funds away for them. They could make some money, put some college funds away for them. That's if they go to the college, right? Now, I think, and again, the stories that he's highlighting might just be the worst case scenario, like everything else in life. That's why I'm not outrightly saying don't do it. I'm just saying be aware, right? What if your case end up being the worst case scenario? If you're gonna put your kids in front of the camera, like anything else, like do an assessment. What is the everything in life has downside and upside. What is the downside? What is the upside, right? Does the upside outweigh the downside? Does the benefit outweigh the risk, right? Now, when you multiply the effect of emotions, and we're talking about people's emotional health, mental health, right? For your kids that you don't even know what they're going to be when they're 13, 14, 15, 16, 24 later on. You know, I am convinced that majority of people that are putting their kids in front of camera are doing it without any assessment. They're just doing it because, oh, it's cute. They got videos. Oh, there's money coming in. We can live a lifestyle. Blah, blah. That's why they're doing it. And again, money is upside. That's good, right? But what is the downside? Is it worth it? And I think that's what he's highlighting here in terms of the dark side of family channels. I call it the dark side of 1.76 monitoring spirit. I should change that title actually.
Mental health related diagnosis of what they could develop as they get older. You know, it just could be a whole new world that we're not prepared for, because AI has already taken over and it's crazy. So I don't know why I did this video. It was just on my mind today and I wanted to just speak on it. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with what's going on here, but I'm just glad, whether I agree or disagree with Nikki Thot, I don't think either one of them are innocent. But I'm glad that she did respond with the video, because that was a very mature response, because there are minors involved here who are going to be directly affected by this more than both of these parties. They are really going to be upset by what's happened and etc. And they're going to be questioning their father to say, why did you do my mom like that? Like, I don't want to see videos of her online.
Or they could start looking for a mom that looks like the picture that the father painted. Okay. So they can effectively resent their mom and say, that's why my father treated you like that. The bottom line is that any type of extreme can become their reality in the future because of this trauma. All right, it could be any size of the extreme. They might be like, yeah, she deserved it. Or they might be like, you treated my mom like that, and I can't forgive you for that, right? And the way they can't relate until they're inside of it, they would have found themselves in it, and they start to look back into the stories from the past and they're like, oh yeah, that's what happened between my mom and my dad. I resent whatever side is easier to resent off of whatever is going on with them mentally, you know. But the bottom line is that it's going to be some kind of extreme, and it's very hard to heal from those type of extremes, especially if it goes all the way back to childhood. Right? They will just need to learn how to manage that. It's also very hard to manage that, right? So
we need to be picking apart and taking apart and etc. Like that, you know, these are very valid questions that these children will have when they grow up and get older, and their parents will need to answer, you know, and these could have long-lasting effects. Anyways, let me know your thoughts are when it comes to this video. Subscribe to the channel, click that button, guys, for daily.
All right, shout out to Murad. All right, shout out to Murad. But yeah, all right, we're gonna finish on time today. People have copies of the video already. They do, right? Of course they do. Of course they do. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Okay. So what did we learn today? What did we learn today? You know, I mean, the lesson is very straightforward. You know, but it's not the obvious. It's never do anything for me. I don't even like the idea of saying never say ever. I don't like the idea of nevers and always. I use them too. I'm human, but I catch myself. It's usually some form of exaggeration, right? So I'm not going to say never do it. What I'll say is that if you're going to do something like this or anything that involves a lot of attention, you're going to become a rock star, a footballer, a basketballer, an artist, actor, actress, celebrity. Too whom much is given, much is expected. Okay? It's going to require a lot of you. It's going to require a lot of energy to manage that. Okay? It's going to require a lot of energy to manage that. It's not easy to manage a lot of, like, you care, you do care, you know. We like to say I don't care, you know, we like to say that, right? But we do care, you know. I like to say you shouldn't need validation, but you do enjoy validation, like the rest of us. You enjoy when people validate your feelings. You enjoy when people say yes, you're right. Just the fact that they say you're right, not the one I play here, of course. Right? It makes you feel validated, right? So, but I always talk about the other side of it, like, okay, don't be obsessed with validation from external foreign bodies, right? But the reality is that we're human beings and we do care, you know, we do care. That's why you have people like MOHBAD'S family running around the streets and just causing chaos. It's the attention. People get drunk on the attention. You have to be careful. If you're getting a lot of attention, you can say thank you, but also you need to understand that that creates new sets of problems. If you're running into a situation where there's a lot of emotions involved, that could mean a lot of people are getting greedy and giving you money, right? That can also mean the other. You need to be aware that there's the other flip side of things. There's FOMO, there's fear. And when people are moving with fear, moving out of greed with fear and all this kind of stuff, if it goes completely left, you have to deal with that. There's a lot you have to pay attention to there. Money, emotions, energy in general, right? You need to contain them in controlled environment. That's what marriage represents when it comes to romantic relationships. There's a form of structure where you come together to put such a passionate, you know, moving elements, variables, right? You put them into some kind of structure, some kind of that everybody can kind of like yield to, right? Because human beings, emotions, money, they're not your mate, okay? It's chaotic. This world is a mess, right? And if you look around you, it doesn't matter how many psychological terms you can repeat or psychobabble to me. It doesn't matter, okay? What matters is the results you're creating, your reality. That, like, whatever is going on right now that you don't like, that's what matters. You need to look at that in the face. You're going to have to use some kind of language, but break it down. Don't get stuck in the big words. Break it down to how you feel, right? Listen to how the other person feels. Identify how you feel. You feel some type of way. Break it down a little further. Identify why you feel. How do you feel? How do you feel the way you feel that you feel that? Don't let anybody tell you that feelings don't matter. That is stupid, okay? Feelings do matter. It does. It's literally reality. Right? How can we sit down there and say the only reality is only tangibles that you can touch? That simply doesn't make any sense. The career you do today, when you decided you wanted to get married, when you decided this is the person you want to date, all of that is driven by feelings and emotions. Should it be that way? No, it shouldn't, but it shouldn't or should is fantasy. The reality is that it is that way, and the only thing you can do about that is to learn how to manage it. Learn how to manage it. Manage your expectations, manage your pride. Okay? And continue to acquire the skills that you need, because it's a moving target. There's no finishing learning this. Okay? But when you get to a point, right? I know that sounds tiring and stressful. It's not. When you start practicing, like a doctor practices, it becomes second nature. It becomes a part of who you are. And then people will say, that one is overnight success. And you tell them, say, that's overnight success.
Different from bad blue.
Yeah, overnight success. Go. No, there's no such thing, right? It's going to feel that way, even to you. But you have the memory. You know you did the work. Right? So anyway, I wanted to leave you that. I'm glad I finished on time today. We're going to keep it that simple. All right. I'll see you soon. Very, very soon. Okay. So I want to say thank you to today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is D-Love. Thank you for the $20. And shout out to all the sponsors of the channel. I appreciate you. And for everybody that hit the like button today, I appreciate you. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thing. I find a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.